In Blue Lock's current arc, the NEL Egoist League, a bidding system based on players' performances, the genius is currently getting nerfed to the point where Sindo is a much better striker than him. He lost his ego after he supposedly beat Isagi, scoring one of the best goals in the entirety of Blue Lock. After scoring that super goal, he made an incredible bid worth 88 million. This had started the downfall of the Prodigy, but what if he actually wanted to try again? He would undoubtedly be one of the best in Blue Lock. Greetings everyone, my name is Napu and I'm going to explain and convince you why Nagi will be the best by the end of the NEL. Also, spoilers to Ben treating Isagi like his plaything. Anyways, please enjoy the video. Let me explain the road Nagi took to get to his current point in Blue Lock. Let's look back to Nagi's previous matches, like the match against Team X. Baro was assaulting Nagi and calling him a slave to Rayo, which irritated Nagi, so he showed his first sign of ego. Even Baro stated that Nagi's ego was scary. Afterwards, Nagi began to think why he even tried in the first place, but then he meets Isagi. Nagi becomes even more curious as to why everyone on Team X is trying so hard, so he asks Isagi, basically tells him to screw off. Also, I want to add to this fact that he didn't answer Nagi's question on why everyone was trying so hard. But towards the end of the match, we see Nagi looking at a scared Rayo who's frightened by the thought of losing. So Nagi peeks into his curiosity and begins to actively try, becoming an absolute monster of death. But he gets stopped by Kuon as his heat begins to slowly go away. In the final stages of the match, we see Nagi, who lost to a soon-to-be rival Yorichi Isagi. I'm not really going to explain the second selection that much because he mainly got heated every time he went against stronger opponents, such as Ren, Baro, Rayo's team, and Ren again. But he had Isagi there, so he mainly relied on him for growth, which caused him to awaken even more. But after Nagi loses to Isagi again, this causes him to have to adapt and evolve even more as a striker, as shown with his match against Hiragi and the current match in the side story against Karasu. But if Isagi wasn't there for Nagi, he'd probably not be able to reach the height he was at against the Bastion Munich match, which caused him to score his 5-stage fake volley. But let's get back to Hiragi, who he himself predicted Nagi's downfall. He predicted Nagi will come to an end, separate, and game over. What I think this means is that Nagi's ego has died, as shown as it dissipating after beating Isagi, and his partnership will end with Rayo. And game over means that Nagi will lose at some point in the Barca match. But Nagi's ego dying will force him to create a new one, especially against FC Barca, since they're extremely creative, which is something Nagi needs, especially since Nagi has been enticed by Batra ever since the first selection. And someone who is all about creativity, his partnership with Rayo will come to an end, forcing Nagi to become rivals with Rayo. And game over means that Nagi will suffer death and be forced to continue and have to rebuild himself just like Isagi or something even better. And will Nagi's aura change? Do something new. I also want to add Narahara, someone that was in a similar situation like Nagi. Both literally pulled the same pose, except Nagi didn't have the ego eyes, just plain white eyes. Nagi lost in the end though because he couldn't adapt like Isagi. Isagi did and adapted to Narahaya, adding Narahaya's off the ball movement into his arsenal, which defeated Narahaya and caused Isagi to score and beat Baro as well. But in the end, Narahaya teared up and left Blue Lock. I think that we might get a backstory for Nagi. As a kid, maybe. And we might actually get to see him cry a little bit, because he'll be in the pits of hell, especially since Rayo will break up the partnership. Also, that Nagi has to adapt to Batra, just like Narahaya tried to do, whereas Nagi needs Batra's creativity. I also think that the offer will make Nagi number one, since everyone knows that either Isagi or Rin will take the spots. This will make everyone surprised, thinking that Nagi might be him. Also, he has white hair just like the lone striker, but Blue Lock has been getting somewhat predictable. This is in my honest opinion as well, I want to add. Especially since when someone gets a backstory, they'll score or do something epic. Unless they father characters like Kuon or Narahaya. So everyone knows that Ren will score, not Shido. I believe that the author will implement Nagi as number one since he's the author's favorite, and no one will believe, especially since Nagi's downfall on NEL. But it's quite likely since bids are based on how flashy the goals are, and Nagi is known for flashy goals. But this is what I think will happen during the match against Manshon City versus FC Barcha, or FC Bachara, because Batra's literally carrying this whole entire team on his back. Trash Oitoya isn't doing anything whatsoever. And literally everyone else is just fodder on the team. But this is what I think will happen. Batra will score 2 goals, with the score being 2-0, and Manshon will have their backs against the wall. The match just won't sub in yet because they want to see what Manshon will do. Nagi will talk to Rayo about their quote-unquote plan, but once the game starts, Rayo will turn on Chameleon Striker mode, just as we saw him do against the Bastion Munich match, causing Barch's defense to break. Nagi will run towards the critical spot for a pass, open to the goal, but Rayo will ignore him, scoring his first goal in the NEL. Nagi will congratulate Rayo, but Rayo will tell him to piss off, and he doesn't need him anymore. Surprising Nagi. Causing Nagi to break down a little bit, because without Rayo or Isagi, he doesn't have any creativity. I also want to add to the fact that Nagi did the same thing to him in the second selection. Rayo would tell Nagi to no longer be partners, but to be rivals, telling him that only 2 egos can survive in Blue Lock. I imagine Hiragi will pour some salt on Nagi's wounds, reminding him of his prediction, and Hiragi will probably torment him too, because Hiragi is just that type of guy. This will lead to the game restarting Nagi stealing the ball of Rayo with a new different type of ego, causing him to score his second goal in the NEL. That this is when Chris Prince and Lobinho will sub in, going all out for the final goal. I believe that Shigiri will help or assist for Nagi's final goal, but similar to Kunigami's, Tiori's, and Isagi's chemical reaction. So this will be Chris Prince, Shigiri, and Nagi teaming up together for chemical, ex-chemical, ex-chemical, triflow chemical reaction. Mainly because Shigiri and Kunigami will have the same bid value at the end of the NEL. Nagi will actually begin to try and ask Chris Prince for a super pass that'll force him to be creative. So once the game restarts, Manchester City will steal the ball of FC Barca, and Shigiri will steal the ball and run upwards toward the goal, but then he will have to pass to Chris Prince because he's being pressured by Batra and Otoya. And Chris Prince will think of an awesome pass to send to Nagi, who even Noah can predict. So he sends his special knuckleball to Nagi, who will do a 3-stage fake volley while doing a breakdance, with the final goal skyrocketing his value. Or Nagi will do something even more flashy than what I just said. And yes, this video, a little bit of it was inspired by Hiryos, so I'm going to put his video link in the description down below so you guys can watch and like it too. These are the main reasons why I believe Nagi will become the number 1 in the NEL. Also, they are all very opinionated, because I know a lot of people don't think Nagi will become number 1 in NEL, but I think he will. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like the video, subscribe, like, and be ready for my next upload. And this is, what if Sai Itoshi chose Nagi for the U20 team? And this video will be longer and way better than my part 1 video, because Shido will be in it, and it'll be hectic on the soccer field. A few new subs will be subbed in, and it'll be even crazier. Possibly lead to Rin going berserk mode early. Possibly lead to Shido and Rin chemical reaction. But thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.